Hello, Jimjamatic here. Welcome to a brand new episode of Robot Wars episode reviews. We're on episode 7, which is the first Annihilator. Woo! Which is also around the halfway mark of Extreme, because we need to get through Extreme as fast as we can, because I want to get to Series 5 and unveil my certain thing I'm doing, as we were discussing earlier. I'm going to be doing for Series 5 with the people here, of course. But, yeah, arguably with the Northern Annihilator is considered one of the best Annihilators. If you say either one, I'll say you're correct, because I think they're both just as good as each other. And look, they're not too far apart from each other in terms of these reviews either, so we get to cover the best ones before we get to Extreme 2 and I cry. But of course, I have 3 guests with me, joining me. Guest number 1, no particular order, it is Alexthehunted.
I always seem to be the first guest. Is it because I'm right next? I'm tied to the chair right next to you.
I think that might be the reason why. I think just alphabetical order just seems to help it out as well. But yeah, Alex. Also, we have Anthony, 2 Penny Milk 8908.
Hello, back for the second time now.
You haven't got Stephen distracting you this time, so you might actually. Hey, you never know. I say we're going to be well behaved, but I forgot. I forgot who I'm talking to.
They've cut you apart from Stephen.
I mean, can you survive without Stephen? Or are you just connected?
I don't know. That's weird.
Well, if he goes quiet during this review, then we'll know if he can survive.
If you hear a massive bang to the ground, then you know I've died.
or secretly Rusty has taken you out. We don't know.
Trust Rusty probably will.
Trusty Rusty. And of course, my last but not least guest is he's on my mini-sodes, quote-unquote mini-sodes, also in a few other reviews. Of course, it is Tentijester, Owain.
I am very happy right now.
And your microphone works as well.
Hooray! I don't sound like the Max Headroom hijacker.
I legitimately don't know what happened with your thing. It sounded fine on my end, and then there's like in the editing day, I think, okay, I've just got to deal with this. Okay, just get through it. Like you're in Apprentice when like they're given a really bad thing, like you need to go right. We just got to pitch this thing as best we can. Yeah, it was only a one-off, so it's not a big deal. But people still watched it, so you know it's not the worst thing in the world. But yes. The first of the 2 Annihilators of Extreme 1. This one is, again, considered, with the Northern Annihilator, as one of the best, as the best now. I think it's the only one, as far as I'm aware, that goes through the normal format, where every round, all 5 rounds are done.
No, the Extreme 2 one does.
Oh, it does, yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot. It's Extreme 2 I'm very hazy on, but yeah, these are the 2...
It's a Series 7 one that's shit.
Yeah, that's the one, the least variety of robots, which doesn't help. I mean, these ones do get you some nice variety in both this and Northern and Southern... particularly the Northern Annihilator gives you nice variety as well, but this... I mean, there's 2 spinners, there's axes, there's flippers, there's actually 2 axes, and, I guess Arnold's counts as an axe, I guess, even if it's a...
And a lifter.
Yeah, lifter, axe, arm thing.
If Splinter's axe can be classed as an axe, then so can Arnold A's.
If the iron masks can be counted as an axe, that can be counted as an axe. So, I mean, we'll briefly go over the robots that made it through. I guess we'll go in the order that they went out in, just to make it easier before we... I know, spoilers, in case you haven't seen this 13-year-old series, then I'm sorry.
Shame for you, for shame.
I know, I know. Obviously, start with the poor old Thermidor, who can never catch a break in Series 5 or Extreme. The one time they do well, like their most dominating performance...
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's Thermidor 2.
There you go, got a theme song now. I mean, along with hypno-disc, had the most dominating performance of their Mayhem qualifier after being the first robot to flip 2 robots out in the same battle. And of course, what happens? They get shoved in the wall and die. But, you know, that's Thermidor 2 for you. Oh... I mean,
it's always with Thermidor 2. It's never a big hit that takes them out. It's always the tiniest thing.
Yeah, they get 1 hit KO'd in Series 7, and then they get, you know...
They get Stinger just taps their top and in Series 6, and that takes them out. Like, in less than 30 seconds, they get eliminated.
At least this is a sort of a slam on the wall, but...
Sergeant Bash eats their own ass in Series 5 and they get eliminated that way.
Yeah. Actually, no, in Series 5, they eliminate themselves by self-writing. So, you know, that's a way to go, isn't it? I mean, yeah, Thermidor, I mean, again, the Feast of the Famine, I keep using that quote, but it's so damn useful, apart from the beautiful song we just had a second ago. But Thermidor 2, again, joint dominating performance of the qualifier and ended up
It does a lot better in the next Annihilator it's in.
Yes, and if you're looking forward to seeing loads of Thermidor in the main competition, wait until Series 7. Because believe me, you're not going to see much from that much. And also, you do get to see them beat up Napalm. The reasons behind it are dumb, but at least you get to see Napalm destroyed, so it's always positive. Then, of course, we have X-Terminator, who's sort of like a printer still, but, you know...
It's the proper X-Terminator, and actually also for this Annihilator, what's his name? Who's the driver of X-Terminator and Team Captain? I forget his name.
Marlon Pritchard.
Marlon Pritchard. If you noticed, he didn't have anyone with him, so he had to drive it and fire the axe at the same time. If you look at the control booth, I'm guessing X-Terminator can be driven with one stick then.
To be fair, he did do a pretty good job controlling both.
It did look like he was piloting like a prototype for the Wii.
Yeah.
He had the nunchuck on one side, like I could see him like flicking it and trying to, launch.
Because Exterminator's axe was like trigger operated.
Yeah.
Like you had to prep. So it must have been very much like a rub the top of your head, rub your belly and tap the top of your head sort of thing.
You couldn't get. I mean, Jimmy couldn't get anyone else to do it. I mean, he could have just gone, "Hey, Craig, can you help me?"
I mean, he had one of the panic attack kids on him for the qualifier.
Maybe they're too busy setting up for the second Annihilator, maybe, or some other battle or something. But I mean, it seems weird. Yeah, just him alone. It's weird just seeing him by himself, just doing all the controls himself. I mean, let's face it, Exterminator probably had one of the easiest. I think the easiest run out of all the...
Yeah.
I mean, Splinter got off light. I mean, first, the opponents weren't that great for Splinter anyway, but at least it had some competition. This was just a tracked robot and CV.
Yeah,
So...
they literally just fed Exterminator fodder bots.
Yeah, I mean, at least Panzer was okay, but yeah, CV... there was nothing going for them. But yeah, of course, Exterminator is very inconsistent with its semi-finals / its success in general, because, semi-final in Series 4, Heat Final Series 3, Heat Final in Series 6, but then second round Series 5, and then...
Lose to a weaponless corkscrew.
Yes, losing to a weaponless cork. I mean, how do you even do that? I mean, yeah. They nearly lose to Immortalis, because if you notice, because I actually rewatched Series 5 recently, during that fight they were unable to drive it forward because the wedge was so bent up it kept digging into the floor, so it could only drive backwards. Losing to Immortalis, I mean, that's got to be embarrassing.
And also, they got disqualified for attacking the ref bot.
Oh, Exterminator.
Have the luck, do they?
No. Then the robot that I guess no one's surprised Evan attacked at once, hypno-disc. Joined.
They were struggling in this.
I mean, they were doing. Their weapon was working in the first round. By the second round, there was barely any life in the robot.
I pretty much keep saying this every time Hypno disappears. It's the typical thing of the robot was just electronically fucked.
Yeah, and unlike Pussycat, who did get attacked a lot in this Annihilator as well, Hypno-disc isn't the most durable. And again, combined with the Series 5 and also Extreme Fights there to do, it wasn't in a good state at all. I mean, yeah, Hypno-disc
they basically they even said it in the repairs after the first round. It's their batteries that just keep fucking them over.
And literally in the third round, the third round where they went, it was just gone pretty much almost in the first few seconds, really. It just was dead. I mean, the weapon was working, but the motors weren't going anywhere.
They drove forward and then just died. Yeah,
it was kind of expected that him just wasn't going to last long. I mean, at first, they got very lucky. Very lucky to watch the second round, really, with Exterminator conking out because of a removable link error. But, I mean, if it had gone to the judges, Hypno-disc probably would have been the one going out due to the amount of damage, punishment they took, even from Exterminator and other robots, and then the lack of any kind of offense at the same time. It was really going to be them or Pussycat, but then Pussycat did way more than Hypno-disc, so it's probably going to be more likely, but it's what you expect. You're the former second seeds, now around, I think the seed 4, were they? Seed 5? 3 for this series, yeah. And they really should have been seed 4, really, but, that's how seeds go.
No, Razor has to get 4, because they can't have Razor drop out the top 5.
Oh, God, no, of course not. But yeah, Hypno-disc was ganged up upon. Then the robot, I don't even know how it managed to make it into this mayhem. Of course, it's from its mayhem Splinter, who I
This is one of Splinter's best performances.
I love Splinter.
It is Splinter's best performance.
It really was. I mean, Splinter was kind of disappointing in its heat. I mean, didn't have an opponent in the first round, and the second round, bigger brother. What do you expect? But yeah, in Extreme, despite its very lackluster performance in its Mayhem battle, in here it was really going for it. Pussycat was its #1 target, like constantly trying to grab.
It was beating Pussycat pretty much every time they fought.
And it also managed to get some revenge on Hypno-disc, which is nice. A little bit of shove into the pit before Pussycat ends up falling in with them. But
that was a really good moment.
Yeah, it was a very dominating robot, and it's a very shame that they got taken out by a good hit from.
Well, I did love the argument between X-Terminator and Splinter. It's like, oh, we took out Hypno-disc. I did love that.
That should have been a vengeance battle. They should have done because they should have done a vengeance battle for that.
Yeah, that would have been pretty cool to see, because I just love the fact that they're like, oh, we did it, and then when Hypno-disc's like, no.
Yeah, who really took out Hypno-disc, the final battle. But, yeah, I mean, Splinter in Series 5 was a little bit... It was gunning for the main guys. I mean, again, Pussycat was the one that was its #1 target, it felt like, because they probably guessed everyone would go after Hypno-disc and they had some PTSD.
What happened to Pussycat in the first battle? Because you didn't really see much of it.
It pulled an eruption.
Yeah, it hit around, and then unfortunately Splinter decided to go for it, but thankfully Splinter's one of the best robots to attack Pussycat because it's the least offensive, so it's not going to damage them too much. So I guess it was the best robot for them to go against. But Splinter,
I want to know what the thought process behind them going for Pussycat was, because how the fuck would they be able to grab hold of Pussycat?
They couldn't grab hold of Pussycat, but because of it. They couldn't grab a hold of Pussycat, but I think it's more because of their wedge and how they're kind of the shape with the arms. They couldn't get a hold of it, but they could control where Pussycat goes. Because if Pussycat hits a wedge, it basically just rolls around.
Yeah.
I mean, Pussycat is essentially a ball. It just needs to kind of grab it and then push it like in a pinball or something. Just need to grab it and then push it into some obstacles or the pit or whatever, another robot, and can't help they deal with it. But Splinter was very, very good in this. I mean, coming third, it's an achievement in itself, even if it's a Mayhem, was the worst, bar a certain one in the second half of Extreme, which will give me an aneurysm. And I'm not talking about the Napalm one. I'm not just talking about the Napalm one. I'm also about the fucking fighting talk one. But not because of the actual battle, but because of the consequences of that battle. But and there's a certain robot in this fight that caused it, but not bitter.
It is always funny to think that Hypno-disc had more effect on the Annihilator it wasn't in than the one it was in.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it fucked over what with the Big Cheese, Ming 3, and most notably Bulldog Breed 3 and poor old Atomic 2.
It took out a third of the competition and wasn't even in the fucking episode.
That's the thing is though, I can understand why Atomic didn't go into the Annihilator, but Bulldog Breed didn't get it that bad.
I'm not really sure myself. It must be it's an internal thing that happened to them, or just time. I have no idea. But yeah, I will agree that Atomic got a lot more fucked up than Bulldog Breed, and Bulldog Breed could not catch a break because Series 6 threw him against Hypno-disc again. So,
which is a shame, because I really do love Atomic.
Oh yeah, Atomic was amazing. I mean, thankfully Series 7 gave a few more robots, actually including both Bulldog Breed and Atomic, a bit more room to actually breed and do what they want to do for a change. So that was
what really made Atomic, well, especially in Series 7, so it was such an aggressively driven robot.
It would not leave you alone.
That's how you contrast how you be a flipper, I guess. Just be really controlling and very aggressive, and you get your way eventually.
I would love to see an improved Atomic today fighting the current Robot Wars.
I've always thought that Splinter could have been a flipper if they just changed it around, because it's got a decent scoop on it, like something like Barbaric Response or something. A massive just arm, just front flipper bit. That'd be quite good.
Yeah.
Its ideas with the claws, the grabbing technique. I like that there. That was actually a really nice idea.
Well, they could go down the Behemoth route and make it maybe refine what Behemoth was trying to do with the axe. Apart from against Stinger, they didn't really get a chance to use very often. So maybe they could. I don't know. There's ideas for the future. But I mean, do Team RCC still own Splinter, or I can't remember.
No, they sold it. They sold it in Series. Didn't they sell it in Series 6?
No. They tried to qualify for Series 7 and failed with Splinter. Was it Series 6?
Right.
Was it Series 6? It might have been 6 or 1 or 2.
It was 7, it was. So I remember.
All right.
Okay. It failed to qualify for 6 and 7, I think, yeah. So But it was 715. That was right. It was the regular guys of Series 6. But yeah, so Splinter was definitely the most aggressive robot in this entire Annihilator. One of the big stars, of course. The last time we ever see them in the main competition or any kind of competition again.
Don't worry, they appear in techno games.
Well, yeah, but so I wanted to, look at something like Monad, Tartan Terror, Twister, Rohog, and then again, Arnold Terminator. You don't have to win your qualifier you get a discretionary place in the series, but they still thought, you know what? I think that Hippo Sand Pit might be better, and. I'm again not bitter, but Arnold Terminator was, I keep calling it AAT because it's much bigger than its awkward name, but they got a surprise victory against Wild Thing, not against Fluffy, because Fluffy lasted, 2 seconds in the entire battle.
A surprise victory that we did not see.
This was, coming second in the Annihilator was pretty, they were they were there throughout, they weren't hiding a lot of the time, they did actually get stuck in a lot of the battles, and it was.
They were kind of just like the Fly kind of robots of this. They were just driving around, just like tapping everything else, and no one really paid attention to them.
I guess. Yeah, I did like that. I like the fact that even the captain had said that like everyone else is ready killing each other. We're just.
Oh, we got our first.
He cut out again. He said that he always cuts out making a point, and it came true.
Oh, the first.
I told you this was gonna happen.
you were saying, sorry. You want to finish off your point?
Oh, I'll cut out again, but I'll try it again. What I was saying was I did like the captain's pointing that out, saying that everyone is ready to attack.
Oh my god.
I apologize to anyone who's listening to this.
Okay.
Close everything and leave Skype open. That's what I do.
Okay.
I have closed everything. There's no Wi-Fi, but just this.
Okay, just say the second half of your point then. Cause we said the first bit that even the captain said, and then start from there.
Right. So, what he was saying was he like at the work. Now I'm getting tongue-tied. It's just so bad.
Hurry up before you cut out again.
Get on with it.
Get on with it.
All right. I did like the fact that everybody was attacking each other and leaving them alone, so less damage to them.
Yay!
Although actually, watching it back, I did notice that they did take. I think it's either round six, the first round and the second round. I can't remember which, but they did take a big hit from hypno-disc.
It was the second. It was the second round, I believe.
Were they in Walker?
It was a roller.
No, it was the only roller they made. I think ever, was it? I think. Yeah. They were primarily really awkward walkers until this point. So none of their walkers were ever really that great at really walking that well. But
that giant gazebo thing they made for the first series of techno games.
We never talk about that tent, ever. But about in the year 2025, when I get around to techno games, it's the only roller they've ever made, and again, for what it was, basically just a box with some sidearms and an axe and a lifter. It was fine. It was a decent robot. It had the advantage of not getting attacked by anything. Let's face it, if you see the box on wheels versus hypno-disc, who are you going to target first? Let's face it, you're going to try and get the guys out first, that way you leave the easier, who you think the easier people are later, I guess, as a technique. But of course, the one robot that it kept getting attacked, it kept getting lifted, flipped over, lost a saw at one point, but it managed to survive, and through David Gribble's good driving skills, a few good KOs and hits as well. Of course, Pussycat winning the Annihilator for this. It was expected in some ways.
Do we even need to talk about Pussycat, because it's such a well-known robot? You know what it does by this point.
Yep. Always falls on its feet.
It flails around.
Driven by the expert late David Gribble, and it's really horrible to say that when he's 17, but was a late David Gribble, and
it's the Pussycat's basically the greased up deaf guy of Robot Wars. You're never gonna catch me.
It just rolls around, but it always comes back swinging, and
good to be back, America.
God. I'm trying to erase Family Guy from my mind in some degrees. But, Pussycat. Yeah, we'll not waste time talking about Pussycat, because we already know about it. We'll talk about it in Series 5 as well. We'll talk about it in 2 series prior. So, let's get to the rounds then, of course. And round 1, JP
With absolute chaos.
Yeah, JP sounds like an auctioneer in this particular round. Like more so than in the Northern Rally, which was already a frenzied battle as it was. He was like, robot over there, robot over there. Like, everything was going on at once, and you didn't get to see a lot of it's hard to pick up particular moments as much.
I just imagine it was like the people going to JP. Okay, this fight has a lot going on. Do you think you can manage it? And he just basically cracks his knuckles, like, I got this.
Yeah.
And then after the match, someone goes in to check on him, and he's got his eyes rolled up behind his head, and he's constantly trying to get an asthma inhaler.
Yeah, pretty much. They got the.
I kind of feel like, I mean, there's this. Speaking of with voice stuff, there's a story going around. Well, there's a known story that the voice actor for Goku in the original in the English dub of Dragon Ball Z, when he was doing one of the transformations, he screamed for so long and so loud that he passed out. And I feel like it would be the same for Jonathan Pierce.
I would be. I mean, they got that micro machines guy who talks really fast and I can talk fast. Hold my beer. And JB comes in and just shouts all this. I mean, he'd be good for shouting exposition in a really excited rate. I mean, obviously everyone had the little targets. Splinter was going through after Pussycat, and pretty much everyone else apart from Arnold. A few taps from Arnold A when tried to go after hitting the disc, and
X-Terminator was the one who had the main vendetta against hypno-disc.
Oh yeah, I mean, you think it would be Splinter, but apparently not. I mean, he got a good flip from Thermidor 2, landing on top of X-Terminator, which then flicks the axe off them for I don't want you.
They drive hypno-disc basically into everyone.
They were playing keep away with hypno-disc.
It seems to me more like the case of when they have those in the movies when they have the fights where it's a big crowd of people, when someone gets knocked back they throw them back into the group. It was sort of like that.
There's a mob mentality with hypno-disc. You felt kind of bad for them in a way, just constantly getting hit by different robots, and you think, the hypno-disc are getting attacked a lot. They're going to go out. No, because
just in the background, Thermidor just died.
No, actually, it wasn't in the background. Yeah, because Splinter whacked him. I can't tell if they were broken down before they were pushed into the wall, or it was because of them getting pushed into the wall that killed him. I watched it a few times. I still can't.
I think it's robots that hit him.
Yeah, it looks like it was the Splinter hit, but then I'm not sure again. I mean, it wasn't moving smoothly anyway, really. I mean, we didn't see like a kind of shot of them moving beforehand, so it was kind of cut to Splinter pushing them, so... but although...
Does that actually mean Splinter has scored a knockout?
Well, technically Worm has scored a knockout, so anything's possible.
Splinter KO'd Kilohertz, so...
That's true. And... Actually, the one thing that really infuriated me about this first battle is the fact they counted out Thermidor on the flipper, and they didn't flip it.
No, they ended the match right there.
Why? They did it with Exterminator in the next round. Why didn't they just flip it? It was...
Was it not working or something? Like, they wanted to flip it and it wouldn't?
Maybe. I mean, if they decided to just not bother as a cop-out. But if it wasn't working, I mean, that's a possibility as well, but...
They could have flipped it just after the cameras cut.
Oh, maybe they just didn't show it.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't, because if you remember when Craig's coming out to say, like, this robot's Thermidor's been eliminated, they cut to Thermidor and he's still on the flipper.
Yeah. I mean, in fairness, if they wouldn't cut out an Arena 4 flipper, I mean, that's like the signatures of the classic series. They would never, deny us seeing that, and it was kind of an anticlimax, really. And you think, oh yeah, Hypno-disc is going to be the bullied one here, and then out of nowhere, Thermidor dies because it's Thermidor. So.
Well, to be fair, they had so many robots running around, they probably didn't want to flip it and have it land on another robot and make it broken.
That's not stopped them before.
Oh no, there's been many robots landing on top of each other in the past.
I know, I'm just thinking of excuses.
You'd be great as a politician, you really would be.
A racing driver.
Just
a little bit here.
Just don't spend money on a jet, whatever you do.
I lost this because I was distracted. Okay, I was distracted.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, just distracted. It's not an excuse, believe me.
It is not an excuse. I was distracted.
I like saying excuse as opposed to excuse because of the guy who created Cool Cats. Is ignorance of the law is not an excuse. So you can't say the word law right. Because ignorance of the law is not an excuse. So I just like saying that. But yeah, Thermidor, because it's Thermidor, passed out. I don't know what happened to it, but it just something went wrong with it. A movable link, more than likely, because it just shut off completely. So that's probably the likely solution.
And then after this match, JP was about as red in the face as Thermidor was.
Yeah, pretty much. But 1 down, 5 to go, and actually this is my favourite round 2, just for the. In terms of ones with loads of robots in it, mainly because I think it lasted really long. Like, this fight was going 90% the way you think, okay, Hypno-Disc is dying, it's going slower and slower, it's barely moving, and there's a lot of good action in it.
Bash actually does something for once.
Actually, yeah, Hypno-Disc gets screwed over. It gets tapped by Arnold Terminator. It gets crushed by Bash at one point, and X-Terminator goes through the disc. Not fully through like Shun did in Series 4, but it actually just penetrated it to a decent degree, and you feel bad for Hypno-Disc in this entire fight once again.
It's the most damage that X-Terminator has ever done with that axe.
Yeah, actually, yeah, because I was going to say they did on Immortalis, but that was Shunt, so yeah, they've not done much with their axe.
And I don't think crushing the monitor on top of megahertz classes is...
Nah, it doesn't count. I mean, once again...
Exterminator had to take... Exterminator took megahertz to a judge's decision. That's the quality of...
Bear in mind, this is the Series 6 megahertz, which is basically similar to the Series 2 one, and not the Series 7 one, which actually looks kind of competent. So that's kind of saying something.
I remember a moment when Exterminator entered a tag team match with Mega Morg, something, and Smidzy, and came out the most damaged.
How do you do that?
This axe was bent nearly 90 degrees.
Oh my god. I mean, yeah.
Actually, something I noticed now that these episodes are being uploaded in HD is Exterminator has a habit of losing the tip of its axe as well.
Yeah.
It really does. It's not as bad as something like Zeus or something, but on the terms of a numerous scale, it seems to have a problem with that. And I'm still trying to remember. It's been a while since... It's been about 2 or 3 hours since I watched this episode last. I'm trying to think who actually KO'd Exterminator. Was it actually Splinter?
I think it just died.
No, because it was just driving around, and at first it pinned itself to the ground with with its axe, and you thought, okay.
No, it had its axe in it had its axe in a hypno-disc, and then it just died. It died on the flipper.
Yeah, and there's no one around. It was there's a few robots around it, but there was no particular robot that attacked it. I mean, Pussycat didn't attack it, Arnold didn't attack it, Hypno-Disc was definitely not attacking it. I don't think Splinter was near it, so it just it must have just got bumped by something maybe, and just it fell out.
Do you think it was a Do you think they had 101 on the drop zone like they did with Gollum once, and the curse was just affecting Exterminator?
That's what happened.
Just threw Exterminator on Exterminator. That'll be...
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know what happened to
Anthony,
it,
you actually haven't said much. What do you want? You got anything to say about this fight?
Well, I agree with you, Alex. I actually do think that nobody actually hit it. I think it just died itself.
Nope. At least the guy's point out. At least the guy's point out this time.
Yay!
Yay, he's back in the fold. But
Anthony.exe has stopped working again.
Would you like to reboot? You have selected no.
Computer says no.
2001 wants its catchphrase back. But yeah, Exterminator conked out. Hypno-Disc is pretty much a dead man walking in the series. It's not gonna win. Spoilers, because next round it loses. Pretty much in the first 2 seconds, goes forward, dies.
Actually, what I noticed rewatching it is when Craig comes out to say that Hypno-Disc is out, they get booed.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they're just really. I guess the crowd really like Hypno-Disc, I guess.
I think it was more the case of how bad Hypno-Disc did. They just died, they were really disappointed.
It was kind of a shame because the weapon was actually kind of working okay, but the robot itself just. Yeah, I mean, I think it just pretty much went forwards, died, and coincidentally it was near the pits. That was always nice to have.
How funny would it have been though if because Pussycat fell in the pit with Hypno-Disc, if Pussycat fell in first, so technically Hypno-Disc was still in.
I think I bet you the judge would have said, well, Hypno-Disc wasn't moving, so. I mean, I think if that had happened, I would probably okay, yeah, Hypno-Disc don't think they would really go through for this because they were not.
Yeah, they would have pulled a T2 and just put Pussycat through anyway.
Yeah, it was kind of obvious out of the two that one was more mobile. I mean, pretty much Hypno-Disc died in the first 5 seconds, the Pussycat was still doing something, and it was funny because it was like Splinter had its one opportunity to finally pit, its rival from Series 4. Yes, I can finally pit this robot, and then Pussycat just goes, "Hold, I'm just gonna talk for a sec, but I'm the best pit pusher of all time," and throws him straight in.
Pussycat steals the kit as a kill stealer.
Oh, I hate kill stealers. It's horrible. He's the guy who camps.
Stole my kill.
He's the guy who camps as sniper. We know it, but yeah,
I am. I actually. So
in fair, so am I. But you know, it's a legitimate strategy. But yeah, Pussycat winning with them.
Talking about old references, Christ, that one's an old one.
It is old, yeah. We're all about the retro. I mean, it's an old series, so you know, retro time. Back this around 2001. So
we liked Robot Wars before it was cool.
I liked it since Series 2. I've been liking it way longer than you lot with Series 3 and 4. So.
Oh, if you guys went to my school, liking Robot Wars was never cool.
Oh, I knew loads of people who did, so I was very happy, thankfully. But yeah, Pussycat went after tried to resuscitate hypno-disc and fell in with it. I'll go with that excuse. Splinter almost fell in, and Arnold was there, so that was nice. Nice for us to compete. You can join it any time if you want. But yeah, hypno-disc kind of went, and that's not a big surprise because they were pretty much dead in the first 2 rounds almost, so particularly in the second round.
I did love the fact that Pussycat was like, right, Splinter, you're dead to me now. I'm coming for you.
Yeah, and the third round was, I mean, honestly, Pussycat was the one in the biggest trouble again because Splinter was assigned to ignore Arnold.
It was Splinter versus Pussycat with Arnold A basically just playing catch up all the time.
There's a really funny picture on the wiki of it. It's the very first picture for round 4 where you have like Pussycat sort of running away from Splinter. Splinter's trying to axe it, and you see Arnold and behind both of them with just this one eye exposed, like I see you.
It's just like soon.
Yes, I'm so using that as a thumbnail. Soon, but. Jesus Christ.
I mean, here's to show how much Arnold wasn't being paid attention. The spotlights weren't even on it.
No, there was like, oh, no one's going to focus on the box. We'll just focus on the actual robots that matter. And of course, Pussycat managed to get a good hit and ripped the aerial out, according to the team. And yeah, it just stopped.
And then Arnold A got the MLG no scope and knocked Pussycat's blade off.
Yeah, that was so shocking. So it was.
I mean, I thought Pussycat
let's be honest. Like Pussycat was losing this fight for mostly the time because it was just basically they couldn't really do much to Splinter. It was just rolling around off it.
Yeah, I mean, it was Pussycat that got the lucky critical hit, and then of course Arnold no scopes Pussycat, which is ironic because they got the no scope award in Series 4. Pretty much, so for that awesome hit on, not only hit this, but also Reptaron as well for just taking the right part of the robot out at the right time, and yeah, Arnold managed to get. Oh, it didn't matter at this point. Well, this is the second time that Pussycat loses its disc in Series 5 and Extreme, so and it
didn't get disqualified.
No, because I guess it didn't shatter this time. I guess that's probably the reason why it just fell off its axle, or whatever they call it, as opposed to.
I did think that Splinter would have won this year. Only the aerial went like.
Yeah, it really was. Splinter really was going to be the winner because it wasn't going to be unless Pussycat couldn't do anything when it was on the front, and Arnold would have been an easy target. So I think personally we're just letting. That's the reason they're going against Pussycat because obviously Pussycat is the strongest of the three. So they thought, right, we need to go after this robot first, and then nope, get hit in the back and take your aerial out. I mean, it says. I mean, right at the end you see there is like a massive dent in the back of the robot where Pussycat just lifted up the arm and took the thing out. Although it would be interesting if the sword come off before Splinter could have got mobilized. In that case, Pussycat would have easily lost this because they have no offense at that point and pretty much nothing to really back up on. So apart from just running away.
Though at least Splinter wasn't shattered into pieces, at least I could walk away going, okay, we have an intact robot.
Yeah, it saves that for Series 6 in the qualifiers apparently. So I forgot who. Who pushed it? Who?
259.
Of course it was. I knew it was some powerful.
It was Splinter. Yeah, Splinter had to fight 259 for the qualifying of Series 6.
I mean, yeah.
And throughout that entire match, they were having Vietnam flashbacks.
Yeah. Oh, God. I mean, Splinter's an okay robot, but it's not the most durable in terms of build quality, and it wasn't. I wasn't a big surprise that 259 was going to happen like that. But
although I will say this. Congratulations to Splinter on a fantastic performance.
Yeah, it's almost sad that it's the last time we see it in Series 5. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, getting humiliated when flipped out the arena, and then WWE gets destroyed in Series 6, and under new ownership fails to qualify for Series 7. And
actually, I mean, there's also footage of them fighting Dominator 3, and they get trashed in that as well.
Oh, God.
Splinter...
It's a shame because I do like Splinter. It's a really good robot.
Yeah,
It's a good design. It's a great idea.
it
I
really
did like
is.
I did like that Apocalypse kind of took their idea, with the clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I had a soft spot for Apocalypse until it, died.
Broke your heart.
It's very disappointing run in Series 10. But also one thing before I go, I mentioned this in Series 4 probably about it's regarding Splinter, but how many robots are there? You can tell it's the time period because Splinter's got the clear word art of Splinter on the front of it. It just screams the word art on the scoop. We are Splinter in
A lot
2001.
of robots had that.
Yeah, so Chromalot had it on there, and I think also even I can't think of Chronic 2 for having Comic Sans on it, or Chronic Sans, I guess we could call it. But
I think Cliptonite had stuff on its side. Major Tom did.
oh, pretty much, I think, most robots didn't have custom text. Pretty much just had word art. So
Steg 2 was the most obvious for me.
yeah, Steg 2 had that as well. I mean, you can tell it's the early thousands because word clip art and word art and that stupid paperclip was still a thing. So he's going to recommend it. Do you want to use this
I love the paperclip.
No, I always change it back to the Bunky. He was funnier, or the dog. I think it was a monkey.
No, the paperclip was awesome.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
Oh, we have a fight now, are we?
Yes.
Okay, well,
Ladies,
what did it do?
Ladies, please. They were both just awful.
Alex.
I didn't say that.
Oh, did you not? Okay. Okay.
you're as bad as away when he called Nate Brandon. That was funny.
Or when Brandon kept on forgetting your name, Anthony.
Yes.
Oh, God.
And join me. Oh yeah, whoever this guy is, I don't know who he is. Who's a guy who hangs around with Steven. I don't know. Was he on TV? I don't know. Anyway,
Whoever this guy is.
Actually, hold on. Saying that there. Then what do you call it? Like when I go to Shump Post and I'm like, oh, this is quite nice, and I see Jim just puts up a picture and it's like, oh God.
oh, we're back to this again. At least I know your name, alright? And I actually put your channel in the description.
No, much appreciated.
It is appreciated because I actually did that.
Yes, Jay, at least Anthony didn't marry a bad robot.
That is very true.
And he's not talking to me now.
Nope, you're gone. You're gone. Owain was almost gone now. Last one.
You're saying Mantis is a bad robot?
No.
You said it's a bad robot.
No, I'm just saying you marrying it was a bit weird. But, the ceremony was nice.
So you're really going to fire me right before we talk about my favourite match in the entire Robot Wars history?
I'm not that cruel. I'll just
Really? This is your favourite match?
The next match...
The war begin now.
Seriously? So Arnold Terminator versus Pussycat is your favourite match?
It is my absolute favourite match of the entire history of Robot Wars.
Okay, before we talk about them, actually do explain how come you picked this battle as your favourite.
The floor is yours.
Yeah.
I just love the fact that we got, on one side, a former grand finalist, should have been semi-finalist in Series 3 until they decided to use an illegal weapon. All-star, one of the most recognisable names in Robot Wars history. And on the other side, you've got a fish tank. And it goes the full 3 minutes, evenly matched until the very end. Arnold A would not give up. Arnold A was fantastic in this match. I could never get tired of watching this fight.
Fair enough. So that is very passionately explained. It's a very good battle, admittedly.
Oh yeah, it's very good. I just never thought it would be a favourite of all time.
I'll always state that one of my favourites of all time was obviously All Talk versus Thing 2 in Series 3. I like a good pushing match. Or even the Grand Final of Series 10. That was a great battle as well. But this wouldn't go in my top 10 or anything, but it's definitely a good battle. I mean, I liked the fact that even when the axe was not working in the last half of the fight, they just kept going at it, and I like the highlight for me was the hug.
Yeah.
Yes, that was such a great moment of just Arnold's axe the double-armed axe was just the right shape to grab a hold of Pussycat.
It's also the fact
It was
that
a fantastic strategy.
it was also the fact that Arnold's even trying it. The axe wasn't moving. Pussycat slid in and just slid underneath, like, hey, how you doing? You right? what are you doing?
They started to do a nice waltz.
Joe, I think that should be a shunt post, honestly, just the waltz of Pussycat and Arnold Terminating. I think that's the reason why they didn't see Arnold in Series 5, because they split up and they didn't want to, be awkward and stuff, so they had to part ways, unfortunately,
We can't talk about dancing, or people will start watching that instead of Robot Wars.
This love cannot last.
Yeah.
We are but different robots.
Yeah. But, even when they lost the axe, they still managed to find use for it, because they unintentionally grabbed Pussycat with it, and at one point they were swinging it around like a thwackbot would.
They
just would not give up. I loved Arnold's performance in this match.
It was very enjoyable to watch.
It also lasted a lot longer than it did in Series 4, where it was definitely, by the end of its fight, was definitely, stuttering a bit. While this one, it was still going at proper power, even at the end. But the one thing I will mention, I forgot to mention it in the other rounds before, but it's related to this, because it's to do with JP, because we all know JP's enthusiastic, but really dumb with what he says sometimes. One thing he kept saying throughout this thing is relating to Splinter. He kept saying, "Oh, we're going to try and cut off the arm of Splinter." How? How? I mean, that's what Pussycat's main strategy was. Yeah, cutting the arms off Splinter. And he kept saying, "Oh, cutting the axe off Arnold Terminator." No, it's still not trying to do that. It's trying to break the body. It always goes for the body, Pussycat.
It's just being Pussycat, where it just rolls around and hits stuff.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't plan to hit a lot of the targets it does. It just hits the general area, and then the driving skill goes from there. Well, it's not meant to go right. We're aiming for this particular spot. The hypnotist thing was part skill, part driving skill, but part luck. But at the same time, it wasn't intended to go in that particular spot necessarily. It was the way it turned.
No, they just managed to get the exact spot to immobilize it.
Yeah.
By accident.
But the other dumb thing related, because it's also related to the disc as well and Pussycat. There's a moment where the disc gets caught inside Arnold and it just stops, obviously because it's embedded inside the armor. And you hear JP go, "Oh, is the weapon working? Is it not moving? It's stuck in the robot. What do you think it's going to do? Spin the whole robot over?" Although that'd be quite impressive if that could happen. Imagine it was that powerful, it could just flip Arnold over with it.
It's just going to be like that scene from the Avengers with Loki and Hulk, where Pussycat just snags Arnold with the disc and then just smashes it into the floor.
Or it also reminds me of in Series 8 when Can Opener grabbed PP3D, went onto the floor flipper and ground pounded it into the floor like some kind of anime.
I think Joffin must have been playing the Robot Wars game before he did the commentary of that, where the saw blades will just keep turning no matter what.
Yeah, he just thinks the infinitely turn. He's been playing Robot Arena 2.
Yeah.
Does that
but and again, if this was one of the Robot Wars games, if the two robots did lock together, one of them would just start glitching out to all hell.
Oh no! If this is Robot Arena Destruction, Pussycat would be able to get stuck on its side and get counted out for being upside down, despite the fact it's fully functional.
Or if it was extreme destruction, Pussycat would be uncontrollable.
Yes, like every robot.
And then the house robots would just come in at random.
Oh, they do it anyway. That's not unique to the games, especially in Series 5.
And then one robot would just go flying for no reason.
Oh yeah, particularly in Robot Arena 2, you get one point where there's like a.
And then if you're fighting in the Robot Wars arena, you sometimes would just phase through the wall.
Yes, that would also happen.
Quite a few times.
Oh no! My luck. If it was Arena Destruction, I would have picked Pussycat. I would have spent all this money off the cheat I used, and went, "Oh boy, I get to use Pussycat now. It's a really cool robot." I run into a robot. Your robot is dead.
No, that was Chaos 2 on Mortis. That was the worst at that.
And
Behemoth was the worst.
I know Behemoth and Chaos 2. They were the two. I never really used Mortis that much. I always used Behemoth and Hypno-disc and Chaos 2 and Behemoth.
Why Hypno-disc? Hypno-disc is one of the worst runs in the game.
I only used it because I like Hypno-disc, not because it was good. I wanted to have power. Come on.
I only used Terahertz and 4 in that game, to be honest.
Chaos 2 was the MVP, and even when it didn't have a flipper, it could still do stuff. But we've got off track about physics of other games, but. Yeah,
let's talk about the fantastic match.
The match was fantastic. I mean, it was Pussycat's fight, but at the same time, Arnold put up a damn good try. It was in it constantly, even when it didn't have a weapon, it was still going. It was determined, and again, a very worthy second place and runner-up. But at the end of the day, it was definitely Pussycat was on both were controlled. both were aggressive, but the damage is what really caused Pussycat to win, really, at the end of the day. And
Yeah, Arnold was limping at the end of it, but goddamn, they just would not give up.
no, yeah, the limping was a bit more obvious, especially in the last minute or so of the
It
fight.
kind of reminds me of the Carbide Gabriel fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does, although not as destructive, hopefully.
Although, if we want to pull parallels with Arnold Day and the current series robot, I find a lot of parallels between Arnold Day and Nuts too.
I can see that.
Yeah.
The durability of it, they kind of, oh, this robot's not going to be great, we'll just, pass it off, and then, boom, whoa, this thing actually is pretty durable and great, and, not...
Yeah.
It hasn't had a Nuts 2 moment, Arnold Terminator, but it's always been very reliable and consistent, so...
And its first appearance, or in Nuts 2's case, appearances, didn't really do that well. And then by their next appearance, oh my god, they're taking out... They're competing with semi-finalists and taking them to 3-minute matches.
Actually, just like Nuts 2 in Series 10, they had to wait 2 series in order to get, a robot properly. Because, they had Jim Struts, Miss Struts, and then this robot. And then, Nuts had Nuts. They had Nuts 2 in Series 9, which lasted 2 seconds, and Series 10, which is, their pinnacle of the pinnacle of nuts.
Nutty nuts.
No, look, the best nuts possible. But, yeah.
Better Nuts.
Yes. after Carbide, crack nuts. But, yeah, it was...
You got the first series of Nuts, which were Blue Nuts, and then you got the current Nuts, which is Mega Nuts.
Angry
Big
nuts. Angry nuts.
Big, firm, angry nuts.
Okay, hold easy now. Okay, Owen, I know you're excited, but calm down.
Nuts like to give a good smack.
Oh, here we go.
Oh god.
Oh, Stephen's not even here. How does happen? How's this happening? I blame you, Anne, Stephen. No, it's not your fault.
What? Don't blame me. I didn't do that.
They just spend the whole time spinning their nuts around.
Oh, it's getting worse.
Oh god.
Just flailing their big nuts all over the place.
Yeah. Oh god. Okay.
These past couple of episodes have been really interesting.
Especially the endings where we just the endings always just dissolve into madness.
This is what Extreme has done, because by the end of Extreme, you pretty much just forget everything you've just watched.
This is the best episode of Extreme as well.
Yeah, exactly. And we're still just dissolving into whatever. But...
I think this is what makes Extreme so good, because it's not entertaining us, so we have to entertain ourselves.
Except this is an exception. This one did entertain. This is the out of Extreme 1, I'd say this and the first World Championship, the only episodes I truly remember from start to end. Like, I mean, mainly because they're meant to be one contained episode, Here are some robots you saw before, now they're fighting in an elimination tournament. Here's some international robots and Whirlpool for some reason, and, throw them into a battle, and then America versus Britain, like always. Or in the case most time, it's Britain versus Britain, so that was a bit of a change. But,
I remember episode 4 from start to finish, mainly because it was so bad, and yet it was the first episode of Extreme I ever watched.
I also remember 6 only for the end because of the awesome song, of course, apparently, that everyone says is awesome, but I don't get it. But I'll at least respect how stupid it is. But out of 10, I'd give this episode probably a 9, honestly.
I'll give it an 8.
And it only gets a 9 from mainly because I can't really explain why it's not a full 10. I guess it just doesn't 100% do stuff for me. And who the hell have we lost? We've lost Alex, but we'll keep going.
Oh, Alex. Oh.
Oh no, R.I.P. But yeah, he said his score and went, so he said 8.
He's gone. He's done now.
Yeah. If he comes back, so be it. But yeah, I can do with that, Alex. While he's not here, I bloody hate Alex. Oh, I hate him. Oh, bloody hate Alex. He's the worst person ever. I'm not recording this. Oh wait, no.
Mantis is a subpar robot.
Oh, Mantis 2 sucks, but he's gonna ruin it. He's gonna be like,
He will come back in a vengeance.
he's gonna do what the other team did to did to Dan Tomkia. Blow it up. But yeah. So Anthony, what do you think out of 10 for this episode?
I would give it an 8.
8 as well. Okay.
Yeah, I would give it an 8 because it was really entertaining. So it was a lot of shock moments. Like you were sitting going.
I think the reason I gave it a 9 is simply because it went all the way through like an Annihilator should
honestly,
do.
Yeah, it was really entertaining. But I did think that Hypno-Disc was going to attack. Destroy everything.
Yeah, Hypno-Disc. I think Hypno-Disc was the big disappointment. Also having Thermidor and X-Terminator go out early.
And the fact that Pussycat's blade went off, that was another shock to me as well.
Kept cutting out.
God damn.
Oh, again! Wow, this is brilliant. This is entertainment. Before this thing or everyone else starts cutting out, Owain, out of 10, what would you give it? Sorry,
10.
10. I've got one surprise. It's got your favourite battle in it. Of course, it would be.
My favourite match. The build up to that match was brilliant. Every robot besides Thermidor had their moment. Splinter was really good in this. I was really impressed with Splinter. Pussycat winning, I have no problem with it. They deserve the win. Hypno-disc actually being shown as the weakest robot for once. I just love this match.
It's good. It's very good, isn't it?
I love this episode. I'm going to watch it again because it was just such a good episode.
Wow, this is nail biting. Will Owain like it again? Find out next week. But
spoilers, I will.
He will. Oh, spoilers! God. Anyway,
you can't talk about spoilers.
Shut up. Yeah, well, you shut up. But yeah, that was definitely one of the best episodes of it, or I consider the best episode of Extreme, honestly. It was great from start to finish. My guests were great from start to finish. Alex was shit, because he's not here. But anything you have to say, Alex? Oh, I love Mantis. There you go. See, he loves... it was a great impression of him. But Alex was here. He was here. He's not anymore, but I'm Jimjamatic signing off. Alex has signed himself off. That's through the shambles. You want to say
so
goodbye?
we're signing off now, yeah?
Yep. Signing off.
It has been a fantastic episode. And do I have time to treat the audience?
With what exactly?
Well, I wasn't here for the last episode, but I feel, because I'm in such a good mood after talking about my favourite match, I feel like I want to sing. I feel like I want to dance.
No, Anthony.
With big toys, we're handy with a spanner. If it don't work, we go berserk and hit it with a hammer.
Anthony, do you want to sign out, please?
No, continue. I like
it.
this.
Took 6 months to build it. When we got there, it won't go. Now we've got to fix it 5 minutes before the show. Have you got a treatment? Of course we have. We all love robots, they're shiny and they're clean. I'm done singing now.
Good. And anyway, Anthony, do you want to sign off and then so we can...
Yes, I have 2 penny milk, and one day I might get good internet and that doesn't cut out on me.
That would be nice. I mean, you weren't too bad last time. This time has been a roller coaster. But yeah, we lost Alex. We kept losing you, and Owain, surprisingly, after last time, has now been really consistent. But yes,
the next one will be better.
Now, you say that, but
no, it'll get worse. It'll get worse.
It can't be. I mean, it can't be worse than. Actually, what is next episode? I'm just going to check just quickly, because I mean, again, Extreme is a minefield for me. Episode 8, of course, we have the... Oh, God, we have the Gemini Razor battle. Okay, good start. Oh, we have King B versus 101. I will get in touch with Simon, see if he wants to make that episode. If not, I'll try and get him for the his Heat in Series 5, hopefully. So I plan to get one at some point for some point in this lot of series, so you never know. Oh God, Napalm 2 and Sachrome Lot versus Steel Avenger and Suicidal Tendencies. That's going to be a... oh God, Atomic 2 Fighting Talk and Mousetrap 2.
Well, Atomic's alright.
No, it doesn't matter about the fight. It's the fact what happens afterwards that annoys me. And Fighting Talk exists, so yeah, that's a big enough problem. And then Singer versus Pussycat. Okay, that's actually not too bad, I guess. But wow, one good fight. Actually, no, because even the Vengeance King B, I love King B and all that, but even the fight wasn't that amazing. But you know, that's what you expect against 2 relatively outdated robots by Series 5. But anyway, I'm Jimjamatic. I've signed off. Everyone else has signed off. We had a song, dance, and joy. And also check out the video I did today. Also, there's a double bill. Obviously, not an episode, but it's just my little thoughts on Series 2 and a little aspect you might not have thought about before. So, everyone, see you later.
But when they're in the arena, they're nasty and they're